Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be taking a look at the Week 16 NFL slate on DraftKings. I'm going to give some of my early thoughts on the slate. I'm recording this video on Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday morning kind of. Usually when I record all my NFL videos is on Tuesday. These are always sort of my first looks. I'm going to go through each position, talk about the guys that really stand out to me, the guys I feel like I'm going to be playing in most of my lineups come Sunday. And of course, I'll give my core of 5 plays, 5 guys I expect to have in a lot of my lineups when Sunday gets here. Before we do get started though, guys, I would appreciate it if you would drop a like on the video. It does help me out a lot. If you are new to the channel, if you do enjoy these videos, these NFL videos, and you are new, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you have not already. I would really appreciate it. You're going to want to make sure you're subscribed so that way you don't miss out on any of my NFL videos. I'm going to be pumping out NFL videos till the season's over with. I'll still have videos out for the playoffs. I might even make some showdown videos for like the Super Bowl slate and stuff when that gets here. Then when NFL's over, going to be making NBA videos daily. When NBA's over, going to be making MLB videos. So never really stop making videos. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed these, and hopefully you do stick around, stay subscribed, so that way you don't miss them out or don't miss out on any. But let's go ahead and look at quarterback now. So at the top of this position, the guy that really stands out to me, I would say, is probably Ben Roethlisberger. He is 6,700. He's at the very top, and he gets a matchup against the Saints. I feel like this is going to be a game we want to target. It's a game that should have a lot of points scored. Big Ben, 6,700. Drew Brees is 6,500. I think it's really close between those two guys. Right now I'm leaning Big Ben, but I think you really can't go wrong with Drew Brees. You can always play Drew Brees at home, especially in a projected shootout like this game should be. But I do like Big Ben a lot against a Saints team that's a pretty heavy pass funnel, a team you want to pass against. The Saints have been really good at stopping the run this year. Great spot for Big Ben. Great bounce back spot for him after he wasn't very good in that game against the Patriots, even though the Steelers won that game. Both quarterbacks in that game I liked a lot, Brady and Roethlisberger, and both were pretty atrocious for fantasy. I think we see a big bounce back game for Ben, even playing on the road. I still like him here. It's in a dome, so that should help. Should be a high-scoring game. Like Brees and Big Ben a lot if I can pay up. But there's a lot of good running backs to pay up for on this slate, so I think that's probably going to be where we want to spend most of our salary. So I might try and go a little bit cheaper at quarterback. I think going like 6K and under is where we can find some good plays here. You could obviously go to like maybe a Cam Newton, even though Newton's shoulders looked really bad lately, and he just has, as a quarterback, has looked pretty bad lately. I don't mind Newton at 6,200, but definitely not my favorite play. But like I said, sub 6K is where I find some plays I like. Really like Dak Prescott this week. I feel like he's going to be one of the quarterbacks I lean on a lot this week, especially because I'm probably going to be searching for value. And he's in a really good spot. He's playing the Buccaneers at home. This is a Buccaneers secondary that's just not good, cannot stop any offense. Buccaneers have been one of the worst defenses this year. Great spot for Dak. Great spot for him to bounce back after he and just the Cowboys as an offense looked really bad last Sunday against the Colts. I think we see a big bounce back performance for the Cowboys. They definitely should be able to put up points on this Buccaneers secondary. So I like Dak a lot here. I'm going to be pairing him with Amari Cooper in as many lineups as I can. Dak's probably one of my favorite values at the position. But other cheap plays, I think Sam Darnold as a value quarterback is also in play. He definitely has a good matchup this week. He's at home against Green Bay, and he's only 4,900. And in a week where we're probably going to be searching for value, there are a lot of injuries to watch, which could open up value. But if the value doesn't open up, Sam Darnold could be a guy we most likely need to go to. He's only 4,900. Should throw the ball 35 to 40 times in this game. If Aaron Rodgers is healthy, you would imagine Green Bay should be able to get a lead on the Jets, and the Jets are going to be playing from behind, and Darnold's going to be forced to throw. So I don't mind him as a value quarterback. I think I'd feel safer getting up to Dak, but Darnold is definitely in play if you're going cheap. But those are kind of the quarterbacks that stand out for me this week. Let's move on to running back now. Like I said, this is a loaded position at the top. We got Gurley against the Cardinals, Zeke against Tampa Bay, Christian McCaffrey, great spot for him at home against the Falcons, Saquon Barkley, great spot as well against the Colts, only 7,900 for Barkley. Definitely a position we want to try and pay up at. The injury to watch, though, at this position is definitely Todd Gurley. He did get hurt in their last game on Sunday. I believe it was against the Eagles. Yeah, that's right. Against the Eagles, he did get hurt in that game, did come out for a few plays. The Rams have said that they think Gurley is going to be okay. But the Rams have already clinched a playoff spot. This is a game they should easily be able to win against the Cardinals. I would not be surprised at all Wednesday or Thursday we get news that Todd Gurley is not going to play. And if Todd Gurley does not play, John Kelly, I believe is his name, should be one of the probably best values at this position. Let's pull up the Rams depth chart. John Kelly, only 4K, did come on to the field after Gurley left those few snaps. He played 7 snaps. Those were the snaps that Gurley was out. I imagine if Gurley's out for this week, which is a pretty big possibility, we could get John Kelly starting at running back for the Rams and getting plenty of work in a game where the Rams should be able to win, should be able to play from ahead. I do like John Kelly a lot as a value running back, but that's going to have to be news we wait and see on. Like I said, I'm recording this on Tuesday, so should have this news either Wednesday or Thursday, the status of Gurley. If he's able to play, I do like paying off for him if you can, but if he's out, John Kelly, definitely a value play we could go to. But there are other running backs we could pay up for. Like I said, you got Zeke at home against Tampa Bay. Great spot for him. But I love Christian McCaffrey this week. I love the matchup for McCaffrey. Getting a matchup with a Falcons team that really can't stop any pass-catching running back. I know these teams played earlier this year. Week 2, McCaffrey only had 8 carries for 37 yards against the Falcons, but he got 15 targets, had 14 catches for 102 yards. Just a massive game for Christian McCaffrey. I'd expect another big game out of him. Dude's just become a workhorse back. He's getting 15 carries a game, getting near 10 targets a game. Pretty much lock in Christian McCaffrey for 20-plus touches. And he just looks like the top stud option. Even in a game where the Panthers looked really bad against the Saints and they only put up 9 points, we still got 26 fantasy points out of Christian McCaffrey. 15 carries, 53 yards, 8 catches for 67 yards. He also had a touchdown pass as well. Christian McCaffrey, just a total stud. He's my favorite pay-up running back. I'll have a lot of Zeke. I'll have some Todd Gurley if he's able to go, but my highest owned running back this week, I would not be surprised if it's Christian McCaffrey. I expect him to be my highest owned running back. I also do like Saquon Barkley a lot. I like the savings you get going down to Barkley from McCaffrey, but I'm probably going to be trying to play both in as many lineups as I can. The Colts are probably the other team, besides the Falcons, that give up the most allow the most catches to pass-catching running backs. Great spot for Barkley. He's coming off a bad game, so people might shy away from him. Only putting up 9 DK points against Tennessee. I'd expect a bounce-back performance from Saquon Barkley. Dude's just so involved. He's a workhorse back like McCaffrey. Gets 15, sometimes 20 carries a game. Gets 5 to 10 targets pretty much every week. Love the spot for Barkley. Love the price. Going to be playing him and McCaffrey in a ton of lineups this week. Probably my 2 favorite pay-up running backs are those 2 guys, but I'll have some Zeke and I will have some Todd Gurley as well. But now let's look for the mid-range. If you want to go to the mid-range, I think Dalvin Cook at 6,900, coming off a nice game against the Dolphins, is definitely in play. Dalvin Cook is pretty much fully healthy. We're getting him getting a full workhorse. Not really a full workhorse, but definitely getting a lot of volume. He got 19 carries last week, got 2 targets as well. He did get 20 touches last week. I'd probably project him for about 20 touches again in a game against the Lions that the Vikings should be able to win easily. We should get the Vikings playing from ahead, which could lead to Dalvin Cook getting a few more carries. Don't mind him at 6,900. Going to be hard to prioritize him, though, over a guy like Saquon Barkley for just 1,000 more. But if you do need the savings, or if you want to play all 3 guys, if you can find the value, I don't mind Cook as maybe a flex play. Leonard Fournette, depending on his workload and his status, could be a really good play at 6K. But it looks like the Jaguars are going to start to lessen his workload as the season goes on. Only 2 weeks left in the season for the Jaguars. They're not going to be in the playoffs, so Fournette is expected to pretty much not get a full workload. So even at 6K, it's probably going to be hard to play him. The Jaguars, just as a team, are going to be hard to trust these last 2 weeks. Running back really isn't a position that I want to go cheap at. I'm trying to pay up as much as I can. Maybe a guy like Marlon Mack coming off a nice game against the Cowboys, 5,500 at home against the Giants could be a play. Depending on the status of Aaron Jones, we could get Jamal Williams as a good play at 5,400 if Aaron Jones is unable to play. And like I mentioned, if Todd Gurley is forced to miss this week, we do have John Kelly down here at 4K against the Cardinals, who could be a really good value. But that's probably it for running back for me this week. Definitely a lot of injuries we need to watch here. As the week goes on, hopefully we'll get some clarity on some of this guy's status, which could maybe open up some value. But let's move on to receiver now. Receiver this week is going to be a position I'm probably not going to be paying up at a ton just because I like the expensive running backs a lot more. If I can pay up, I'd say my favorite option probably would be Davante Adams, depending on the status of Aaron Rodgers. If Aaron Rodgers is able to play, gotta love the matchup for Davante Adams. He's just been one of the most consistent fantasy options all year, just getting massive volume. Pretty much lock him in for 15 to 20 DraftKings points every week. He's going to get into the end zone, it seems like, every week. Even in a tough matchup last week against the Bears, still got 8 catches for 119 yards. I like Davante Adams a lot here. He usually goes overlooked because you have guys like Hopkins, Julio, AB, Michael Thomas all priced around him. But Davante Adams, definitely like him a lot this week if Aaron Rodgers is able to play. If Rodgers is out, probably just going to be avoiding the Packers as an offense or just as a whole in general. But now other receivers, I guess if you don't want to pay up for Adams, my next favorite option would probably be maybe AB or Michael Thomas if you want to go to one of them. But I think I'd rather play Davante Adams, but really don't see myself paying up a receiver much this week because I just like the expensive running back so much. But I do like a little bit of a cheaper option off the expensive plays. I like Amari Cooper a lot here at 7,500. I think this is a big bounce back spot for Amari Cooper. He had a very disappointing game last week against the Colts. Just 4 catches for 32 yards, only 8 DraftKings points. After coming off a 52-point game, he only put up 8 DK points the next week. This is a get-right spot for him. Like I said, this is a spot where the Cowboys should bounce back in a big way. Love a Dak to Amari Cooper stack this week. I think it's one of the better quarterback receiver stacks. I know Amari Cooper is not very cheap, but there's some value I do like at receiver that should allow us to pay up for Cooper if we do want to do that. And I think playing Dak, I want to try and pair him with a guy like Cooper. If you want to pair Dak with Zeke, I could see doing that as well, especially with how involved Zeke is in the pass game. But I do really like Amari Cooper a lot in that 7K range. But now let's try and talk about some value. We hit on a lot of the studs. Some value, trying to go cheap here. Robert Foster, 4,900. Definitely in play if you want to go to him. Just been seeing pretty good targets lately. Over 100 receiving yards in 2 straight games. Got in the end zone last week against the Lions. Had 23 DraftKings points. I imagine the Buffalo Bills are going to be trailing in this game against the Patriots. Patriots are probably going to have a lead. The Bills are going to be forced to throw. So I do like Robert Foster at 4,900. Robbie Anderson, 4,500, definitely in play as well. He got 11 targets last week against Houston, 7 catches, 96 yards, and a touchdown. In lineups where I have some Sam Darnold, I will probably be pairing him with Robbie Anderson. I do like Robbie Anderson this week as a value play, especially if Quincy Enunwa does remain out. But right now, I think my favorite value is probably Isaiah McKenzie. He's only 3,900, and he should see a decent amount of targets here in this game against the Patriots. Like I said, the Patriots are going to have a lead most likely. The Bills are going to have to throw. In the last 2 weeks, we've got 7 targets out of Isaiah McKenzie. Last week against the Lions, 6 catches, 53 yards, had 7 targets. Also did get a rushing attempt as well. 11 DraftKings points last week. Not the most sexy amount of DK points, not the most sexy play here. But on a week where we're really searching for value, I think Isaiah McKenzie does stand out to me at 3,900. The Bills, their running back situation is going to be something we probably want to watch. If I pull up the Bills running backs real quick. So LaShawn McCoy and Chris Ivory were both inactive last week. They're both listed as questionable for this week. Marcus Murphy did get hurt in that game, so he's listed as questionable. Could be interesting to see how the Bills running back situation shapes out, whether McCoy's able to play, whether all these guys are inactive. Either way, I think that's going to lean to the Bills probably having to throw more. I already think they're going to have to throw more because they're probably going to be trailing, but Isaiah McKenzie should get some work in the passing game, and at only 3,900, I do like him as a value play this week. But let's move on to tight end now. Quickly go over tight end and defense before we do get out of here. So tight end, I try and pay up if I can, but usually this is a position where I'm kind of forced to go cheap. If I can pay up, my favorite option here is probably Zach Ertz at 5,900. Against the Texans, I do like that spot a lot. I think that game has some potential shootout. So I like Zach Ertz at 5,900. He's probably my favorite play if you're paying up either him or Ebron. But like I said, with wanting to pay up for the expensive running backs, trying to pay up for Amari Cooper, probably want to go cheap here. Maybe a guy like Vance McDonald at 4,100 we could use as a value play. Maybe Trey Burton at 4K. David Njoku at 3,800 I don't mind here against the Bengals. If Tyler Boyd is forced to miss this game, that should free up some targets for C.J. Uzomah. He's only 3,300, gets a really good matchup against the Browns. I do like C.J. Uzomah this week as a value tight end, depending on the status of Tyler Boyd. But yeah, tight end's pretty gross. Probably going to pay down here for a guy like Uzomah, maybe some David Njoku. Pretty much going to go 4K and under if I have. I'm pretty much going to be forced to go 4K and under, so that's going to lead me to some of the guys that I mentioned. Won't be paying up here a ton this week. Probably just won't be able to. But let's move on to defense now. Another position where I kind of want to pay down. Usually can't pay up here. There's definitely cheap defenses I like this week. I like the Cowboys a lot at home against the Buccaneers. Going up against Jameis Winston, who is a very heavy turnover-prone quarterback. I like the spot a lot for the Cowboys. Cowboys do have a really good defense. At home, 2,600. They really stand out to me. I think the Dolphins at home against the Jaguars at 2,700 also are a really good play. If you're not playing Isaiah McKenzie, or if you just don't want to play anyone from the Bills, the Patriots defense is only 2,500 at home against the Bills. Definitely a good play as well. Talking about some value defenses. I like the Patriots, Jaguars, and Cowboys a lot. Those are probably my three favorite value defenses. If I could pay up, I guess my favorite pay up spot would be the Bears against the 49ers, but paying $3,500 for the Bears defense, probably not going to be something I'm able to do this week. Going to need to save money as much as I can, so going to lead me to going cheap here. But yeah, guys, I think that's it for defense, and I think that's it for the video. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. Hopefully it did help you. If you enjoyed the video, just make sure you click that like button before you get out of here. Make sure you subscribe if you have not already, and if you do have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comment section below, or you can hit me up on Twitter at the DFS_GOAT. But yeah, guys, good luck Sunday on the Week 16 slate. We'll see you back again in my next video. Peace.